Hello friends, today we're going to talk about the differences between abstract class and interface. As you all know, if you watched my previous video, we talked more detailed and more hands-on with examples on abstraction that covers abstract class as well as interface. But here we're going to focus most on to what are the difference, right? So this is very important topic, and knowledge that you should have in this. Like, this is one of the most asked interview questions into the Java positions. So as you all know, abstraction meaning means hiding the implementation, and also abstraction means that you have kind of idea but you don't have the right implementation yet, right? So you are just basically building the blocks. And abstract classes, let's go to the points. What is the abstract class? Okay, abstract class defines with the keyword abstract. So if you have any class name in the abstract class, you have to define with the keyword abstract. That will tell you that class is the abstract. In case of the interface is defined with the keyword interface. So if there's an interface, you don't have to write abstract or anything. It is by default, by its generic, by its nature, interface is abstract. You don't have to define them. As far as class, you have to define with the keyword abstract. Okay, same thing happens with the abstract methods. If you have abstract methods inside the abstract class, obviously you have to use the keyword abstract there as well. But if you go into the interface, you don't have to define any abstract. They are 100% abstract by nature. Okay, abstract class can have full concrete methods as well as abstract methods. Interface cannot have any concrete methods. Okay, what's next? If any abstract exists in a class, then the class is automatically considered to be abstract class. So if you have at least one abstract method inside the class, then compiler will force you to make that class also abstract. So you will have to add the keyword abstract into the class name, making that class into abstract also. Okay, and then if you talk about uh, interface will not need to have any methods defined as abstract. They are automatically abstract. So you would simply write public void add or something, right? So that's all you need. What abstract is? Abstract is the, so if you have any method that is abstract, that means that method cannot have the body. So body means it cannot have the curly braces, right? So it will ends up with a semicolon right after the parenthesis. So public void add, you get open close parenthesis, you do semicolon right there. That's what abstract is. And only different is if it's abstract inside abstract class, you would write public abstract void and the method name, whereas if it's interfaces, you would just write public void. You don't have to write abstract keyword. That's the only difference. Okay, and what about next? If any class extends an abstract class, then that class will have to implement or define all abstract methods inside that abstract class. That is very important. So if you have any class that has an abstract method, right, that method which is not defined right there, this has to be defined from whichever class that is extending that abstract class. Unless that extending class, child class, is also abstract, that class will have to define every abstract method inside that abstract class from the parent. Okay, as far as interface, if any class that implements the interface will need to implement or override all methods that interface contained. Okay, so if any interface, unless that interface is being implemented from the abstract class, that interface's entire method will need to be overwritten from the class. So what is the difference here? Only difference is, in case of abstract class, if you extend abstract class from any non-abstract class, only the abstract method will need to be overwritten. Full method or concrete method do not need to. Okay, and won't. As far as interface, since interface contains 100% abstract methods, then entire method inside that interface need to be overridden. That's the difference. Okay. So next, any class will extend abstract class as usual by using extends abstract class name, right? So if I want to extend any abstract class, I will just extend as usual. I will write keyword extends abstract class name. And if I want to use the interface will use keyword implements. So the difference is, if you want to extend the class, you use extends even if it is abstract class. If you want to implement the interface, you'll use the word implements. Okay, so what's next? Each class can only extend up to one class regardless of it is abstract or non-abstract. Okay, so any class can only extend up to one single class at a time. So you cannot extend more class. There's no multiple inheritance in Java. Okay, and if you have to extend 2 or 3 class per se, then you have to go through multi-layer inheritance. So you go extend one at a time and continue to extend that child class. Okay, so same thing applies to the abstract class, so there's nothing different with that. As far as interface, you can implement as many interfaces at a time, but only different is the class that is implementing multiple interfaces will need to implement entire abstract methods inside those all interfaces being implemented. Okay, so that's the difference. So if it's abstract class, you can only extend one and you will have to override only one or only the abstract methods inside. If it's an interface, you will have to implement entire methods or override entire methods of those interface, as well as you can implement as many interfaces you want at a one time from one single class. Okay, next is abstract classes can contain public, protected, and may contain private variables. Those private can't be extended to the child class. So if you have any um, abstract class, like abstract class can have concrete and abstract methods. Concrete methods can be private, but they cannot be overridden by other classes extending that abstract class. That's the only difference. Okay, but you can have public, private, protected in abstract class. With the case of abstract methods inside the abstract class, you can only use public and protected access modifier. Okay, if you have a concrete method, that can be used as a private too, but that won't be overwritten or accessible outside that class, that you know. As far as interface goes, any variable that is initialized inside the interface is static and final. This cannot be changed. Okay, and any variable inside the abstract class can be private, protected, public, right? And then what's next? Interfaces methods can always be public. Okay, so that's the only difference. In the abstract class, you have flexibility of using multiple access modifiers, whereas in interface you cannot. They're all public. Okay, I think that's all we're up to. And yep, here methods defined in interfaces are always public whether or not you define. So you can define just method with a void method name, and that is public by default even if you define or not. Okay, I think this has been pretty clear and pretty straightforward. I hope this clears up most of the doubts that you may have. And as I said, this is very important one of the important questions that may have been asked for multiple times in interview rooms, and I hope this has been very clear and helpful for you. Thank you very much for watching my video, and please continue to watch my videos and subscribe my channel. Thank you.